My name is Idris Talib, and I'm from the Atlanta, Georgia area. I actually live in Dallas, Georgia, which is a suburb of Atlanta. It's interesting. I really don't know. I just started getting some emails from Joe Crump. I subscribed to his YouTube channel. I don't even know how I found him. I've been interested in real estate for a real long time. So, I've gone through all the different gurus and stuff, got on their email list. And somehow, I ran into Joe Crump, and then I saw a book that he had on Amazon, and I bought that book, and it made sense, and I've been following him ever since. So it's been a couple of years. I actually bought the autoresponder. That was, I bought that July, right last July, so July of 2016. And then I actually had great experience with it. The only problem was the follow through on my part. The program works so well, especially in the area that I am. I just got overwhelmed with the responses. So then I decided, you know what, maybe I need to join the mentoring program. So I joined the mentoring program probably around November. And then ever since then, I've been following a lot of steps that Joe tells us to make, because I've been doing real estate. The first real estate deal I ever did was in 2003. Actually, my dad had some home program that you probably order off TV. I tried it. It worked pretty well, but I wasn't very consistent with it. But then I kept following Joe's videos, and the thing I liked about Joe's videos, he didn't seem like a slick sales guru. He talks to you in a real calm manner. And the stuff he says, because, I would say I know a little bit about real estate, it makes a lot of sense. So I said, why not just join this mentoring program that's really going to help systematize everything with the auto marketer, and I can have the success I'm looking for. Okay, the first deal with Joe's program, I would say it took me probably about 40 days. It was a little over a month. And then I made $7,000 off of it. So it was a smooth process. Actually, I had one of the leads come in. They were, I just asked them, are they open to rent to buy? At first they said, can you explain that a little to me? So I gave them a call. And then as I talked them through it, they saw that this is something that meets their need. And I saw it was something that, I'll be able to do. I sent them over the lease option memo. They signed it. And then we had a tenant buyer sign up for it. It probably took about 3 weeks to find a tenant buyer, and then that's when I made my $7,000, which was a great day for me. The best deal that I've done so far, it was a house that it was referred to me by a realtor. The realtor didn't know what to do with it because there was no equity in the house. They were a little behind on payments, but it was a personal friend of theirs. So we put that house under contract. It's a high-end house too. That house was $520,000. We ended up finding somebody to get into that house. They ended up, actually it was traditional financing at $620,000, so I split $100,000 with the realtor. So that was a $50,000 payday for each of us. I would say the average income per deal, now I focus on, in my market in Atlanta, higher price houses, $250,000 and above. So my average, probably around between $8,500 to $10,000 per deal. When I was just doing it myself, the manual way, I was being very inconsistent in terms of going online, picking up the phone, calling people, following up with people. But with the auto marketer, since it does everything for you, that eliminated probably about 80% of the time. So that allowed me to get leads coming in on a consistent basis, and all I had to do was follow up with those leads. And then as a result, I can cherry pick the best deals. So that's what led to the higher per deal average for me. I'm getting to the point I am closing them consistently. At first, it was kind of here, there, everywhere, but now I'm to the point to where I'm closing the deal probably every 2 weeks. Probably by the end of, over the next 4 weeks, I'm gonna look to at least close one deal every week. My goals right now is to develop a system and infrastructure to where I have an automated system that's constantly, making money without me having to do most of the work. The reason why I'm here at the boot camp is really to learn how to develop and create a team. Find out who are the different players that I'm going to need on my team, and then really have an implementation manual for them so we can totally systematize the business. This year, especially being January, I looked at generating at least $500,000. It's had a significant impact. I have 3 daughters at home, and then my wife is at home. So, this has given me the flexibility to where, I kind of make my own hours. I work when I want to work. I'm able to make sure I can see my kids going off to school and daycare every single day. And that's usually around 8 o'clock. So my work hours are between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then by the time they come home from school, I just play with my daughters, have fun with them. I'm able to travel. And, it's really taken a lot of stress out of my life from going back and forth in Atlanta traffic so much. Yes, definitely. Now, just getting the program is not going to help you unless you follow the steps. Just follow the process step by step. Because when I first got the program, I was a little overwhelmed because it's a lot of information. And then I said, you know what, why don't I just, work with this on a consistent basis, like he says. I was trying to do everything my own way, and I wasn't getting the results that I was looking for. But once I started following the step-by-step process Joe had laid out, it's been very freeing for me. It's one of the best things I've ever done for myself as well as my family. So I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I have some other businesses. I actually love those businesses. I'm not one of those people who hate what I do. I absolutely love what I do. I own a mental health agency and a physician group, so I will continue to do that along with the real estate. This is just another stream of income, but even more important than that, I have a 13-year-old son that I eventually want to teach the business to, and I want to teach this to my family because to me, real estate, the way that we're doing it, it's almost a perfect business. The most difficult part about being an entrepreneur is finding new customers. Well, the thing about real estate, you have to have a place to live, no matter what. Housing is not going anywhere. The economy may go up or down, but people are going to find a place to live. Not only that, the way that we're doing it, you don't need any money out of your pocket whatsoever, and you don't even need to leverage any of your credit. So as long as you follow the process, there's no reason for you not to be able to be successful. So real estate will always be something that I do, but at the same time, I love my other entrepreneur endeavors as well. It's not 100% automated. I have the systems in place. Now what I need to do is I need to delegate different things. So once I'm able to hire my team, and then I can delegate things to them and then just kind of monitor and manage that system, it will be almost 100% automated. And I'm giving that a 90 to 180-day time period to be able to put those in place. I would say the first thing to do is become educated. However, you're never going to learn everything that you need to learn. So basically, apply what you're learning as you're doing it. And then if you can't afford mentoring, find a mentor. This is a great mentoring program. To me, it's an investment. So don't worry about the cost, but Joe gives you enough information through the free videos and free information to allow you to go out and do your first deal. And then out of each deal, just save some money, and then you'll be able to afford the mentorship program. And then when you get into the program, just jump all in. Don't wait for anything. Don't overthink it. It's almost like creating it's almost like a franchise manual that you have. It's a step-by-step system. As long as you follow it, you will get results. There's no guarantee you'll get the same results as someone else in the same amount of time, but there is a guarantee if you don't give up, you will be successful. Right, correct, because you are never going to know everything you need to learn before you're ready to go out and do a deal. And not only that, it constantly changes. So I would suggest, especially since you're not using any of your money, you're not leveraging any of your credit, the worst thing that can happen is you spend time on a deal and someone says no. That's the worst thing that can happen. So what I do is I look at, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? What's the best thing? The best thing, I may make $5,000, $10,000. The worst thing, I hear the word no. Where I live at, there's 6 million homes. I only need one to make $5,000 or $10,000. And that's kind of my thought process. And you get better. you get better. Everything speeds up as you put more effort into it. And then you're going to start following up with people, and you're going to get you're going to get a lot more deals coming your way. I would just say this has been one of the best investments I've ever made. I see a return on my investment, like I said, within 40 days. Everyone's experience is a little bit different, but, the thing I love so much is, for one, Joe knows exactly what he's talking about. He's very competent. But not only that, he gives you every resource available as long as you're willing to use these resources to ensure that you're successful. So I just say, just go for it, jump in with all that you have, and, success is guaranteed.